anymore.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Hey, Dwight, I'm sure Mr. Prokhorov will get you some nice Russian friends there in Brooklyn, and maybe, I mean, Brooklyn, hey, they have some talent there. They have a couple of pieces that they might be able to build around. The main being another ex-Los Angeles Laker and D'Angelo Russell. Yes, correct. Russell.
I was going to say Vickers, but that's from The Office.
No,
and that was
yes.
Will Ferrell's character.
Yes. Although a legend in his own right.
But you know, the reason why they traded him is because Dwight Howard actually lost his old triceps. You know, like he's just not the same player because those used to be the triceps I dreamed of having.
And then you got them. You stole them from him.
I got them. I stole them from him, and now I've lost them. You know, we're not sure who they went to.
Yeah. They're probably lurking somewhere around. Oh, I have a big bone to pick with you, Bobby.
Oh gosh.
So I was watching TV one of the other days. And I was watching Fox Sports West. There was a UFC fight on there, like an old, UFC Unleashed or something. And a commercial comes on for a casino around your area that you have been known to frequent. And I was shocked when I heard them say the name of it. Because the entire time I've been hearing you've been saying Pachanga.
That's okay. What was it pronounced? Pachanga?
Yes, it was pronounced Pachanga, like a chimichanga. And
you can pronounce it either way.
No. I believe
tomato.
I believe the commercial over Bobby. Even though Bobby, I know you've cleaned their clocks a few times with taking out loads of money, cash.
Yeah,
trucks full of money.
Not today.
Oh, so you tried to hit up Pachanga today.
Oh, I went to bingo. I go to bingo every Wednesday before the show, and it did not pay out today. It's always me and a bunch of 90-year-old women.
Is that why you're doing it on your phone today? Because you had to sell your laptop because you lost too much money to the old women of Pachanga?
Yes, Thelma and Ruth took everything I had today.
Thelma and Ruth, they are ruthless old ladies. They may look sweet, but don't let their smiles fool you. They are crooked inside.
They're ready to go with their daubers, so be careful.
Yeah.
They're dangerous.
If you come in with see someone with a custom dauber, maybe like a little ingrained, custom with their name on the end, you are in trouble, son.
It's always with some real downhill from here.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, one question. I figured out what the question was I was going to ask you.
Good.
So LeBron's son.
Yeah,
let's say his talent is what we probably expect it to be, since LeBron is his father, and LeBron is easily the maybe number 2 best player of all time. If LeBron stays in the league for about 5-6 more years, would they be the first father-son duo to play against each other in the NBA?
No, they're not going to be the first father-son duo to play against each other. They're going to be the first father-son duo to complete an alley-oop to each other. Somehow Bronny is going to be on the same team that LeBron is, and I think maybe when LeBron's 39 and he's still putting up 27, 5, and 9, 5 being the rebounds because he can still pass worth a damn. He'll structure his contract so that wherever Bronny gets signed to, it's pretty much a 2-for-1. And I don't know if that's legal within the CBA, but he can just say, hey, you know what? I have my deal's expired. I'm going to be testing my options. And then whoever the Sacramento Kings with a 30th overall pick after winning their 3rd consecutive NBA championship, pick Bronny Jr. in the 30th pick. And then LeBron Jr. or LeBron Sr. comes in there. Oh, man, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great alley-oop connection. DeMarcus Cousins is going to win his 3rd straight MVP. It's going to be great. So, no, they're not going to play against each other. They're going to throw an alley-oop to each other. I don't know who's going to be on what end. It could be either at this point.
I could totally see LeBron setting up his contract so that he's out the year his son becomes a draft pick to be able to go and play for whatever team that may be.
Yeah, I could totally see that. LeBron is totally that type of guy. I mean, he's already structuring his contract so many different ways in the last few years to give himself more leverage and kind of put the onus on the Cavs to get the correct pieces around him. And that correct piece in 5 years or whatever is going to be his son, Bronny. So we'll see what happens. And by then, there's going to be no one-and-done rule, most likely. So he could come straight out of high school if he's really the phenom everyone says he might be.
Yeah, so what is the speculation on him? Is he around the same talent as his father, or what are we looking at here?
It's a little bit too early to tell because he's still too young, but he is one of the top high school talents in the nation. And LeBron, by the time LeBron was a sophomore, he was the bona fide number one high school talent. And by the time he was a senior,
but he was like not even close.
Right. There was no one within the same stratosphere as him. And so we don't know as of yet whether Bronny's going to be in that same league. I mean, he's definitely, as of right now, he's going to be an NBA player. We don't know whether he's going to be, LeBron 2.0, both literally and figuratively, or if he's going to be, just a guy who kind of flames out. But he will be in the NBA. We don't know as of yet whether he's going to be a superstar or someone like Lonzo Ball, towards the total other end of the spectrum. So we'll see.
Yes. And then last question: would they be the first father-son duo to play in the NBA together, or at the same time?
Yes, same time in the NBA they would be. Obviously, Ken Griffey, senior and junior in baseball, and I believe there was who else? I am blanking. It might have been a hockey guy, because hockey players played like they were 55 sometimes. Like Gordie Howe, I think, played till he's almost 60. So there was another father-son duo that I'm sure is just right in the tip of my tongue, and someone out there in the internet land is screaming at me, most likely Chris Sylvester. But I don't know. I know there's another one. So, hey, okay. Twitter, help me out, Alex Klepper. All right, Bobby. Well, with Kawhi Leonard possibly wanting to be traded, I mean, tomorrow is the first really big day that something could happen with the there was two huge trades during the draft last year. We had Jimmy Butler going from Chicago to Minnesota, and then I believe was Paul George, was he traded before the draft? I don't remember. I think he might have been traded before the draft.
I think before. I think it was before.
Yeah, but still, one huge trade in Jimmy Butler being traded to the Timberwolves. So we could see something being worked out. There's been kind of conflicting reports between Adrian Wojnarowski. I always stumble on his name. That's why everyone says Woj. And different NBA insiders saying, "Oh, it was a good meeting," and the Spurs are still hopeful about being able to re-sign Kawhi, or at least keep him for one more year, and he'll be happy and hopefully healthy. And some people are saying he just looked him straight in the eye. I think Stephen A. Smith said this. He looked him straight in the eye and said, "I don't want to be here anymore. You should trade me." So it'll be a fun couple of hours here tomorrow, Bobby, when we see obviously a loaded draft class. What we're going to get into here in a minute. And then Kawhi Leonard possibly being dealt, and everything else surrounding maybe some disgruntled NBA stars. So,
we'll
Bobby,
see.
The number one overall pick was the Phoenix Suns. They're really, they have a lot of young players in their team. Devin Booker is the guy who's really the catalyst for them. He's their young shooting guard who's still only 21 years old, despite being in the league for now 3 years, averaging about 25 points per game. He is obviously very good young piece to build around. Not a great defender, but a very skilled offensive player already. And they have a few younger pieces around him who they're hoping that can make some strides. Last year, Alex Len, who a few years ago was drafted, has turned himself into a serviceable big man. They traded away Eric Bledsoe, who was really their co-star there with Devin Booker, and that was probably better for them with their timetable. And they got some young players like Dragan Bender and Marquise Chris to try to help the future. But really, when everyone's looking around at Phoenix and what they need another big man with Tyson Chandler really being their stalwart in the middle, being 35 years old, and a guy who played just down the road for them, or for the Arizona Wildcats, seems to be the bona fide number one pick. There's no mystery around it. DeAndre Ayton, the center out of Arizona, 7'1", 250 pounds, a first-team All-American. Really just an amazing offensive player, averages 24 points per 40 minutes last year, can really shoot it outside. Only shot 34%, but he'll develop that more, and just a beast inside. Bobby, do you see any surprises tomorrow night with Phoenix when they go to the number one pick, or is it going to be DeAndre Ayton?
I think there's no doubt about it. It's going to be DeAndre Ayton. I mean, there's only a few other guys that I could see, like maybe a Mo Bamba. Even though I've been seeing him fall a little bit, I still think he's a very good talent that could possibly go to the number one pick. Or the, excuse me, I am looking at the name right now because I'm blinking off the head. Luka Doncic?
Yeah.
Just because we don't know with these European players, if maybe someone's going to take a shot on him, because he is an extremely great talent over in Europe, but there's still questions that he'll even leave to come to the NBA. So I think when it's all said and done, I think DeAndre Ayton's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, and just watching some of the highlight videos of Ayton and seeing some of his games last year for Arizona, he is just for me what he looks like. His physical comp is a Greg Oden with a healthy body. You know, knock on wood. Hopefully he's not like Greg Oden with an unhealthy body, because that would be bad. But he's got, you know, and I know maybe I use this guy too much as a comparison just because I love him so much. But Boogie Cousins, he's got the Boogie Cousins skill set. He can shoot inside and out. He's got a good handle. He's got good passing ability. He's kind of so on the defensive end. But having a guy who is 7'1" and that big and that agile and be able to handle the ball and shoot the ball like he does, I don't see really much of a chance of them going off the script here. But yeah, like you said, Bobby, those two guys that you mentioned, Mo Bamba and Luka Doncic, are both extremely appetizing for any team. Bamba being 7 foot with a 7'10" wingspan is absolutely crazy. And I don't know if you saw that main workout video that he had where I think he drained 9 threes in a row. That is also something that is extremely appetizing for NBA teams, and that really made his draft stock shoot up. I know to begin the college basketball season, Mo Bamba was really touted as probably the number 1 overall pick, and then he did not play super well. He had some good games, but he also had some down games for Texas, and they barely made the NCAA tournament. So his draft stock kind of went down after that, but once people started testing him and his physical abilities became more and more apparent when they got up close to him, he's really shot up the draft board once again. And then Doncic, like you said, you know, there was a question whether he's going to come to the draft, but I guess he is now locked in to be there. I believe it's going to be in Brooklyn again. I don't 100% know that for sure. Stat boy, yeah, check that. But he was the youngest ever MVP in the EuroLeague at 19 years old, and he led Real Madrid, the basketball version, to, I believe, the EuroLeague championship. So that is obviously high praise for a guy who is just 19, has been playing in the EuroLeague since I believe he was 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Circling back around, I think DeAndre Ayton is the pick here for Phoenix. They need a guy who can score down low, and he can do that and shoot from the outside, which is just a plus. One little caveat: Marvin Bagley the third from Duke. He is from Phoenix originally. He did not play in Phoenix, but he is from Phoenix, so maybe a little scraping in there. I don't think so, but
no. And I think the thing that also gives the edge to Ayton is the fact that he played at Arizona. You know, I just think there's going to be too much pressure to take this guy from the fan base as well.
Yeah, I agree. One more possibility, I don't think that Phoenix would do, just considering there's not a lot of chance of this continuing on to the future, but is there any chance they call up the Spurs and say, number 1 for Kawhi? You in?
Ooh. I think that's very tempting. Gosh.
Yeah, they would have Kawhi for 1 year, and then he would be a free agent. But, hey, the Spurs, they got to love... I mean, with the Spurs, one, Ayton is right there. They have their next Tim Duncan or David Robinson, you know, probably. Or, you know, they have such success with European guys like Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. Doncic, I mean, he may be just the guy to continue that tradition in San Antonio. So maybe something there to it. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I mean, I could totally see them making that move, especially with the talent that they have there. Like, you imagine matching him up with a Devin Booker and a Josh Jackson. I mean, that's kind of a dream made in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that would immediately turn them into a top 10 defensive team. You know, if guys like Tyson Chandler stick around and be able to play some pretty good defense still, but just that's how good Kawhi Leonard is, a 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. So,
honestly, as good as they were on offense, like I mean, offensively with the shooters that they have, I mean, granted, we saw that they weren't able to really put games away or do anything like that, and they had a lot of injuries, but with Devin Booker and Josh Jackson, who put up points, man, they could really open it up with Kawhi in his defense.
Yeah. Interesting times, Bobby. With the number 2 pick is my beloved Sacramento Kings. They also need an offensive big man, so a lot of people have them slotted to take Marvin Bagley III. He was the only really top bona fide prospect to visit Sacramento in the pre-draft process, but people have also said don't count out Luka Doncic, and they're also weighing, apparently some of the front office is really enamored with Michael Porter Jr., the guy who played only 3 games for Missouri. Being a Sacramento Kings fan, I understand why they would want to go with Bagley. Willie Cauley-Stein is right now their center, and he's more defensive-minded. He has a very limited offensive game. So someone like Bagley, who can bang down low and has a pretty good outside shot as well would be a big plus. And, two of their